computer. Thank you everyone for joining. Let me share my screen.
Can you give permission for recording?
Sure. আপনারা যারা co-host আছেন তারা তো অলরেডি পারমিশন আছে বোধহয়, তাই না?
I think you need to be a
আপনারা মানে যারা co-host আছেন তারা কি লোকাল পিসিতে রেকর্ড করতে পারতেছেন?
আমি
কে বলছিলেন আমাকে একটু বলেন, আমি আসলে দেখতে পাচ্ছি না।
এমনি নাহিদ মন্ডল।
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে, আমি একটু দেখে নিচ্ছি। আচ্ছা, আমি আপনাকে co-host বানিয়ে দিচ্ছি। আপনিও লোকাল পিসিতে রেকর্ড করতে পারবেন। সো থ্যাংক ইউ সবাইকে আবারও।
আপনি এমনি নাহিদ মন্ডল দেখেন, একটা পিকচার আছে, ওটাতে স্টিল আমি পার্সোনালি আমাকে বলতেছি পারমিশন।
এমডি নাহিদ মন্ডল, আপনাকে তো
নাহিদ ভাই আপনি co-host হয়েছেন,
আপনাকে co-host করে দেওয়া হয়েছে, এখন আপনি লোকাল পিসিতে রেকর্ড করতে পারবেন।
ওকে, থ্যাঙ্কস।
So before I start into the demo, let me talk about myself first. So my name is Mohammad Mahmoudur Rahman. Also nickname is Shohad. And today's session we are running from AWS User Group Bangladesh, and in collaboration with CloudCamp Bangladesh. So I'm currently working for these three companies, including non-profit. So here is my roles over there and my email addresses, email address and LinkedIn and Twitter profile. You can connect with me if you want. So today's workshop, actually my goal is not to deep dive into the technical details. For technical details and deep dive, I will share some links in the Slack channel. So before that, can you please, can you everyone please tell me that you are all in our CloudCamp Bangladesh Slack workspace? Is there anybody who is not in the CloudCamp Bangladesh Slack workspace?
Yes, this is Imtiaz. I'm not in the workspace. I got
All
this.
right. All right. So please please share the link, invite link, if you would, please, or I can also share from here. Okay, thank you, Mim. So so you join over there. After then you find a Slack channel named Innovator Island Workshop. So if you join that channel, we will communicate for this workshop from now until we finish the activities. Maybe it will be continued for several sessions, because this workshop actually a big one. You can go to this link and you can see, if you go to this link, let me share this screen now. Okay. So if you go to this link will be posted on the Slack channel also. So if you go to this link, you will see all the contents of the workshop. And event engine hash will also be provided. I will post it on the Slack, which Jamal sir provided. So just wait a second. I will post a link. So you can access the event engine hash who does not have AWS account, or if you have AWS account, you also can use this link, because if you want to access this workshop contents or some other things in AWS, it will not charge you anything for 48 hours. So I am posting the hash now. So this is the hash I already posted in the Slack channel. You will get it, get over there. So let me start the demo. I will go through the demo, and you will see I will build these three. You can see the screen, right? Can anybody please confirm
Yes,
that
we
you
can
are?
see the screen.
All right, thank you. So you can see this has 6 different sections. So for these 6 sections, even from Amazon senior developer advocate James Beje, he also took five sessions for this. So I cannot cover the whole thing today. I will try to cover until the part 3 on-ride photo processing. So let's get started. So what we are actually building today, we are going to build a serverless web application. So you can have the description. I'll not go into detail, or I'll not go into the theory part, because that will take our time. So I'll go through the at the same time I'll go through the workshop, and I will do the things in the management console, so you can see what I am doing. So this is the introductory part of the workshop. Here it is saying that this theme park is built on a remote island. So it has some features described here, and application structure, front end and back end. And this is the overall architecture of the application. So this microservices architecture. So we will see how it works. For the cost perspective, if you want to practice it in your own account, then it can incur some charges. But if you use the event engine hash, what we have provided, you will not be charged anything. And for your own account also, these services, if your account is less than 12 months old or less than 1 year old, most of the services will be under the free tier. So most probably you will not have any charges. So let's go to the next part. This is the modules. I will touch upon these 3. I will first set up the environment and deploy the application. Then I will I will build upon the ride wait times. You will see how it build upon, and write photos sharing option. So these 3 I will touch upon today, hopefully. So let's proceed. So for the setup, we will be using Cloud9 IDE. So Cloud9, for Cloud9 IDE, Cloud9 is a service, is a managed service. So I will not actually talk much about it. I will just go through and you will see what I'm doing. So what I'm doing here, I will just go to the Cloud9. I also have, I can go from here. I have the management console already open. So if I type here Cloud9, I can see Cloud9. Also, I can go from here. So it doesn't matter where you go. So And then according to the instruction, I will create something called theme park development, an environment. I will name it theme park development, and I'll not put any description. You can put this is optional. If you want, you can put. So for the next part, I will just click on the next. Then what I can see here, this environment settings. So we can choose the default one, and if you need larger instance, you can select according to your need, but that may incur some charges, some more charges. So we will just put the default settings and go to the next. And this is the review. So what I have selected in the last 2 steps, I just review here, and I will just create environment, hit on the create environment. So this will take some time. Let us see. And please Neem, Roshni and others, please see the chat and response to the chat, and I think we can continue. That will help if you can, please.
Yes, I'm doing it.
Thank you. So these you can. Anybody was talking? Is there anybody talking? Mashihur Rahman, bhai, are you? I mean, did you? I mean, did you ask anything or wanted to talk? Also, I can see Sheikh Salman Rashid unmuted. All right. So our development environment is ready. Now I can close this tab, and for visibility, I will change some configurations. So oh no.
It's maybe in project setting.
Oh, okay.
Sorry for interrupting, but are we supposed to follow along as you go, or are you going to give us some time?
You can do both actually. If you want, you can log into the hash and you can follow along, or you can just watch the session. After the session ends, you can do the practice for 48 hours. So this is the code editor. Where is the configuration? I just forgot. I did it here. User settings. Yeah, this is in user settings.
I have a question here.
Sure.
Thank you. So I see the session is being recorded. Will we have access to the recorded session later on?
Yes, the session will be recorded. Yep.
Will we have access to the recorded session later on?
Yes. The session
Okay.
recording will be published. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I was wondering because if we do the setup task later on, we might miss some steps and need to go through it again. That's why. Thank you.
Okay, actually, yeah, you are. Thanks for the question. It's a great question. So actually, if you follow along with the, workshop link, you will also have all the details. Actually, I'm just following through this workshop link. So you will have both my recording also you can see AWS recording.
Oh, I see.
All right. So this is the settings, and this is the user interface.
In editor, you can simply press Ctrl+Y. No need.
No, I want to increase the font size for terminal also. So, okay, terminal, let me take it. Now it's visible, right? The terminal?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. And font size also 16. This is terminal, and for general, let me see the font size. It's okay, I think now. It's visible, right? But yes,
You
where
can
is
press Ctrl+Y. Editor's font automatically will increase.
okay, thank you. All right, so now let's go on the next phase. So we already did this. So now what we need to do, just to verify that our current user have the necessary permission to run on AWS services, we just need to issue this command. So now you see, so I will just, I will, okay. So now these commands, what will, what we will see from this command, the supported region, because you already saw in this part that this workshop can be run in these regions only. So if we have chosen our right region, we can see that from this code in the terminal. So you can see if I issue this command, I can see US East 1 is supported AWS region. So now we have no issue with the region. Now the second part, the next part, we are cloning the GitHub repository. So we need to run these commands. Let me copy and paste it in the terminal. And you see here, the repository is being cloned. So this repository already cloned. So what we can do next, we need to issue this command for JSON formatting. Okay. Now, next phase. Now this part, we will deploy the application.
But there is a question in chat.
Okay, I will touch upon the question after I finish the whole session, maybe. In the meantime, our co-hosts and other volunteers can, anyone can actually answer in the chat. That will be better, I think. We can keep the flow. I will see all the question at the end of the session. Before the end of the session, I'll give some time for the question and answer session. So thank you. So here, what we see, the front end is a progressive web app. It's built on Vue.js. So some introduction on the front end part. So how front end work? Front end works, we are building through Amplify, and our users can access the site from mobile client or desktop client. So this is the architecture. And now we need to create a repository in the code commit. So I just click in here, code commit. You can do so from the management console, what I have shown you earlier. What happened? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, let me check. Yeah, something is wrong. I don't know. It shouldn't be like this actually.
Click login.
Let me, yeah, let me log in because I didn't save that actually. I will need something here.
Sometimes it's happened with low latency issues.
Bhai, is this event engine for everyone?
Yes, sorry.
Is this event engine for everyone?
Actually,
Or
there is a limit for event engine.
I think
There is a limit for 20 people, but you can definitely ask me if you need. I mean, if anyone, I mean, the capacity is exhausted. If the capacity exhausted, you can ask me. I will answer to provide more.
I think because it's logging people out, because I have also got logged out from there.
No, I'm not using the demo account. I'm using my other account, so it should not be any problem. Okay, let me check. Yeah. You can see the screen, right?
Yes, we can.
All right. So we were using Cloud9. And from this part, we need to create a repository in the code commit. Code commit is something like a GitHub. This is a GitHub like service built on AWS. So in code commit, let me create a repository. I clicked on the create repository, then I gave the name according to here, I mean the instruction, and then click create. So this part we have done. So now this part, what this part is doing, this is helping with the credentials helper. What the problem we have faced actually, it will not be we will not face this again after this after we give this command. So okay, sorry. This command will not give you any output, but it worked. So next, what we need to do, these three commands, what it will do, it will create a directory and change the directory to that directory, and it will fetch the files, I mean this package, from the repository. So I just copy and paste here. You see we are on the directory we intended to be. So next, unzip the package. So package unzipped. Now we can see theme park front end. So you see theme park front end here. So we unzipped into the theme park frontend. So this is the frontend code. Now we need to push this to our code commit repository from here, from this command. So let me clear the screen again. So it is pushing the code to the code commit repository of what we have already created. So we can refresh and we can see the files here. You see the files, right? All right. So now we will deploy the site with Amplify console. For this, we need to go to the Amplify console. So I will go from here. I will not use that link because that redirects and maybe have some issues. So this is the Amplify console. What we need to do here from Amplify console under deliver, we need to click on the get started. So you can see here, deliver, get started. So just get started. And now what we need to do, we need to select the code commit repository. So this selecting code commit, and after then click on continue. So click continue. So now you can see your repository, theme park frontend. So theme park frontend selected and branch main selected also according to the instruction. So after then we need to click next. I think I'm having some network traffic issue, maybe. Can you see the video? I mean, see the screen?
Yes, we can see the
Yes,
screen.
bhai.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. But it's not, something is not working.
But it will take some seconds. I have done same.
Oh, okay, all right. Let me see if already. Okay, let me do it again. Put commit, continue. Theme park, next, main, and next. So let us wait and see what is happening. But there is no response, I think. Oh, okay, it's working. Yeah, it took some time, actually. You're right. So from here, what we need to do, we need to do park front end and next, and save and deploy. So this, I mean, this action will take some time. Region is okay. I think someone is asking about the region. Region, we are using North Virginia, I mean US East 1, so it is okay. So now the build has been started. This is a CI/CD process. that means continuous integration and continuous delivery process. So when I connected the repository on code commit, it grabs the code from there and it started building. So it provisioned, then build, then deploy, and then verify. So this 4 process. From now, any changes to the code repository will have this effect. So let us wait a bit here. So now in this instruction, after we verify, we just proceed some steps. So if the verification complete, then what we need to do, we need to copy the URL from here. I mean, from this URL, we can copy. From now also, we can copy link address, and they are asking us to save some of the things into the scratch pad. So I can create a scratch pad in the Cloud9, like I can, I mean, for notes, I can use this to take notes. This is the Amplify app we are building. So let's see what it has been doing. So if we stuck somewhere, you can ask me any question during that time, actually, if you would like. I will appreciate that. Because
so I was wondering, we had the code in GitHub or in some Git web application,
code commit,
web servers that you use. I thought we had the code. Where did you pull it in the GitHub code? I mean, OS code commit. I mean, the code was initially in GitHub or in some place like this.
No, the previous step we did. We did previous steps. From there, we just pushed the code. Actually, what we did here, you can see, we downloaded this code from this S3.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
Yeah. So after then we unzipped, then we pushed the code to the code commit. We made this code commit repository, then we pushed the code. So
got it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So our application already built, and this is now serving. So if we click here, you see the application already, the front end already deployed. So this is a responsive web page. You can see the responsiveness from developer tools, and from here you can see it changes when your client, I mean, if you are using any iPhone, it will show you the iPhone interface, or iPad, or Google Pixel. So you know about the responsiveness, right? So this is the responsive front end. So we already built this front end from the Amplify. So this part we have completed, and we took note on this website to one of our nodes, notepad. So this is the same, I think. Yeah, same. So this hash is not actually required because I have did something. So okay, so now what we need to do during the deployed app. So we already, what we did, this part is actually here. So now next part. So now it's time for backend. So backend is serverless backend. It actually works using 3 main services, which is Amazon API Gateway, AWS Lambda, and DynamoDB. So Lambda is the compute part, API Gateway is the API part, and DynamoDB is the database part. So now we can deploy the backend infrastructure by following this. So now what I will do here, I will just copy the code and paste it in the terminal. So it will give me a unique name for the S3 bucket to be created. So it already assigned the value to the S3 deploy bucket variable. So in the next command, we can create the bucket. So this command will create the bucket from our variable name. So this variable holds this name. So if we give this command here, it will create the bucket in the S3. So now if we go to the S3, we can see the bucket. This name, right? This is the name of the bucket. So I copy this name and I search in the console. I should have find this. So this is the bucket. Oh, sorry. I copied the wrong. This is the bucket name, theme park. This is the bucket name. So you can see this bucket. We created a bucket using this command, AWS S3 MD. So after then, we need to change our directory. So this command will change our directory. So now we change the directory. You see, we are on the right controller directory. Now we will be using the SAM. SAM, what is SAM? SAM is serverless application model. It is a framework to automate the serverless application. So now from these two commands, first command SAM package, it will package all the all the necessary resources from the template that defined in the template, which resources defined in the template. It will make a package, then SAM deploy will deploy the resources through CloudFormation. So we'll see that in a moment. So I just copy the code, command, and I just issue the command in the terminal. So you see, this action is actually happening in the CloudFormation. While this is happening here, we can go and see what is happening. So if we go to the CloudFormation, this is the infrastructure automation service for AWS. In AWS. So we can see from there. I'm sorry, actually, I have some issue with my voice. My voice is not clear because of some sore throat issue. So this create in progress, you can see, right? Theme park write times and theme park development. So it will create bunch of templates, bunch of stacks for us. So we can see from here, what is the progress? You see this action is happening. So it's quite simple, right? Until this point, have anybody have any question? Do anybody have any question until this point while this thing is happening?
Hello, I had a question. Why are we using SAM specifically?
Okay, actually, this is all part of the workshop. I'm not doing anything. This is built by AWS professionals to teach us or teach the people who want to learn serverless application building. So they are using. So what is actually your question? Can you just clarify what you would like to know?
Yeah, I'd like to
Why
know
I use this or why they use this?
But I'd like to
Is
know
that your
what benefits I'd get from using SAM, or is this something we must use for using serverless applications?
Oh, no. I got your point now. So for serverless development, you can use many third-party frameworks also, or you don't need to use any framework. You just go to like CloudFormation console, create a stack yourself from GUI. I mean, from the console itself, you can build everything. But this is efficient because when you build something, let me show you something. Let me show you some backend codes. So actually, we will see this in the future also. In future, I mean, uh, in our next part, we will see those things. But let me show you something if I can find it.
In a short way, actually, SAM makes serverless development easier.
Yeah, Sam is
If anyone, if you want to do it, you can do it a raw cloud formation, but you have to go on through many commands. And while you using SAM, you just use SAM deploy.
Yes, that's correct. Actually, for this, you can see Sam app. You can see this. Package, okay. Where is the template? This is the template. Let me show you some commands. I mean, some syntaxes in the template. This is the resources we define in the template. This is the function. This is the Lambda function. This is the S3 upload function. This is the DynamoDB table. So these all the resources we are defining inside this template only, this one file. And this one file using SAM, this one file makes a lot of things. You can see what it built. Like for this stack, it is creating these resources. So if you do it manually, it will take a lot of time. It will take a lot of your pain. So to to simplify the development, to simplify the infrastructure management, AWS built this service, CloudFormation, and to use the CloudFormation more effectively, AWS has developed SAM, or serverless application model, to use, the power of this automation. So if I think you are now, you got your answer, right?
I got the answer. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. So now this part, we can see successfully our stack created, or updated stack, simple write time in none. Okay, so it doesn't matter actually in none or something in okay, no problem. We'll see if there is any problem. So now what we need to do now this time to change the directory. So changing the directory with this command, and SAM CLI to deploy. So now we will deploy this another stack. So this stack will deploy. So while creating, anyone have any question, we can discuss maybe.
So when Sam does these provisionings,
Yes.
is this something Sam controls all the time, or is this something we can go change afterwards in the console?
You can definitely change that. You can do everything. I mean, SAM is a framework, so you can build your own thing from scratch, or you can just build upon this. You can change according to your need.
And if I change something from the console, does that get reflected in SAM, for instance, in this template? Will that change get reflected somewhere?
You mean while you create this, you want to change in the console, is it?
Yeah, if I manually change provisioned infrastructure
while being provisioned, is it? I mean,
no, after being provisioned.
Oh,
for
okay.
instance,
After being provisioned, as far as I know, that change will be detected in SAM. When you issue some command, it will. There are some drift and some other things. I'm not that much proficient in those technical details. So
Actually, by console work independently.
Oh, okay.
So
then
works
yeah.
independently.
All right. So if you, I mean, his question was like you have deployed some stacks from SAM, and you are changing some of the stacks inside the console. So does it reflect in your SAM template? I mean, when you deploy again, will it detect automatically the changes in the resources? That was his question actually. So
I think no, it won't reflect.
Okay. All right. I'm not sure about that.
Because console fully works independently.
All
If
right.
you have some while you developing Amplify framework, you can have some issues which cannot you can't deploy with it. Then you should go through your console, because
Right.
console will fully work independently.
Independently. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Tushar. Okay. So now we have successfully deployed our this part also. So you see Timper successfully created this stack. Sorry. So what Sam has now used CloudFormation to deploy, which will be used for the rest of the workshop: 2 Lambda function, 3 S3 buckets, a DynamoDB table, a Cognito user pool, an AWS IoT theme, several IAM roles and policies. So these things are, have been deployed using SAM. So what now we can do, configure environment variables using this command. So now issuing this command in terminal, it's done already. So the terminal assigned some value for these variables, like final bucket, processing bucket, upload bucket, DDB bucket. Like if you see this command now, you already have that actually. Echo, you see this bucket. So these are the environment variable. I mean, these resources has been created earlier, and now we are using those resources, some of the resources in our environment variable to make the automation easier. So now what we can we need to do to populate the DynamoDB table. So this is the command. Let me go and issue this command to change the directory. and install npm package, Node Package Manager. Those are working with Node. You are familiar with this, I think. And these are some simple command actually, cd, and these are all simple commands. Most of you, I think, already know. So this is the import script. Now need to issue this import script. Success. Now test the configuration. So now we can issue this command to test if it is working. We are seeing some output from the DynamoDB table. So, and then we can call this through API. So now this command, we will get the API endpoint. So this is the endpoint. If we copy this and paste it in a browser, we can see those data from DynamoDB. So these are the data from DynamoDB. So this API endpoint, we need to take note. So in our notepad, we have created a notepad earlier. We can API, and we can just put it API endpoint. We will later we will need it. Okay, so now what we need to do, this part we completed. So now go to the next part. Now update the front end. So to update the front end, we need to go to the theme park front end and source folder. So theme park front end source folder and find config.js. So you see here initiate state API, init state API. So to this, I mean, to here we need to give the value of the endpoint. So which we already copied here, we are giving. So we can close this actually, we don't need that. So I'm just pasting the endpoint and saving it. So when I save it, then push the code to the code commit, because what we are doing in Cloud9, this is, you can think like this is your desktop. So you are editing over the web, I mean using a managed service, but this is like a desktop environment. This is like your Visual Studio Code. So you are using this to change the code. It will not reflect until you push the code to the code commit repository, because code commit did not get the update from here. So when you change this code and update through the command to update the code commit repository like GitHub push, your Amplify console will automatically detect the changes and start building. So let's see what is happening, what it happens actually in action. So let me go to the folder. Sorry, let me go to the change directory. Okay, and now these two commands, git commit and git push, these two commands will push the changes which we have made to the code commit, and this already succeeded. And you can see here also source. Oh, okay, at first we see the Amplify console. It should detect the change. It started provisioning. Now we see the front-end source and config.js. We can see here the changes have been updated here. So and up until this, we are ready to go when our build succeeded here. I mean, these 4 steps completed. We can see this will have some what theme park features, I mean theme park rights, we'll see some rights updated over there in the application. You'll see from your client, you can see the changes when this build finishes. So let us wait for the build to be proceeded. And I mean, while we are waiting, you can ask me anything you'd like to have some clarification on. Anybody have any question? I cannot hear you. Anybody actually is talking anything? I can see Ashraful Alam is on mute. You want to ask anything? Okay, it's pretty fast. So let us see.
হ্যালো
Yes.
আচ্ছা যে ওয়েবসাইটটা আমরা ফলো
Sorry, I can't hear you. Hello.
হ্যাঁ আমি বলছি যে ওয়েবসাইটের টিউটোরিয়ালটা ফলো করছি সেটার লিংকটা কি পাওয়া যাবে?
Definitely. So are you on the Slack channel already? I mean, আপনি কি Slack channel আছেন?
Link already provided in the comment thread. I can check.
Cloud Camp, is it?
Yes. Inside Cloud Camp Bangladesh, you will find Innovator Island workshop. So
Workshop.
Why this is? Oh, okay.
এখানে threads যেগুলো দেখছি general.
So can any okay, do you want me to show the screen? I mean, how to go there?
You can just you can just okay, I got someone gave it in the link.
I think we can take you to the to our channel later after this session, maybe. Maybe we just follow through this.
I got the list. Yeah, someone just gave it in the chat.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you whoever did this. All right, so our Amplify build already completed under the verification. So now we can see in this client, if we just refresh the page, we'll see the right. Not yet, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We can see the right. different rights. So the application already updated with the right, but it does not have any wait time until this point, right? So next phase, we will be building the wait time for individual rights. So now, okay, this part completed. And review, if we review these, what we have done so far, this is the summary of those things. And this advanced question, we don't need this at this moment. So let's go to the second one, real-time ride wait times. So what you can see now, these rides doesn't have any real-time ride wait time feature. So we are going to build this feature now. So let us go and build this. So, and for every one of you who would be following the workshop through this link, you can go to the watch on YouTube video that will bring you to the video which was done by Amazonian. So you can watch that also. Yeah, so next part, for the backend, we are using Amazon Simple Notification Service, which is SNS, and AWS IoT Core, these two core features and two core services with Lambda functions. So now we need to set up the environment variables for this. So copy the code, copy the commands, and paste it in the terminal. Now we have set already, environment variable have been set. So now we will create some Lambda function using console, I mean manually. So here we will go to the Lambda under compute. So I can go through here, or I will just use this shortcut search. I mean Lambda. If I search Lambda, I will get the Lambda. I just open it in a new window. So that will be easier for us to do. So we'll need to create a function and give the name this, give this name to the function. And for the runtime, we need to select Node.js 14.x. So this is the Lambda console create function. And we will just author from the scratch. Function name will give this, and Node 14.x is already selected. We need to change the default execution role. So here, use existing role. We will see theme park backend, theme park Lambda role. So you will use that role actually. Theme park backend, theme park Lambda role. So we just selected this role, and we will just create function. So from there, we will add a trigger. So which trigger we'll add, we'll see in a moment. So our function is ready. Let me add a trigger, and this time we will choose the SNS, which is Simple Notification Service. So just click SNS, and you see enable trigger. This option is not available in the latest version of the console, because it by default enabled. Every trigger you do, you add any trigger to your Lambda, by default it will get enabled. So you no need to follow this one. So now click add. An error occurred because an invalid unsupported resource identifier, SNS. Oh, sorry. SNS topic, we need to select the SNS topic. So this is the topic we need to select. So SNS topic, we need to select the right times fat controller. So this topic we need to select, then add the trigger. Sorry for skipping that part. Okay, so we already have the trigger. Now go to the code and do some modifications in the code. So now click on the code. We can see the Lambda code window here, code editor. So from here, we need to go to our Cloud9 and copy some codes from this. So theme park backend to real time, then app.js. Theme park backend, number 2, real time, and app.js. So we need to open this and copy these whole codes and paste it here. Replace it. I mean, you need to delete, otherwise it will get failed. Just replace the code with this. So now what you need to do is just create deploy. So at this point, we'll need some environment variable for our function. So we will go to the configuration part, click on the environment variable, select edit, add environment variable, and then we need to copy these I mean, we will get the variable name and key from our this command. So first is IoT data endpoint. So from this IoT data endpoint, we copy these and copy here, but where we get the value. So for this value, we need to copy this command and run this in our terminal. So this is the endpoint value. So we need to copy from here. Now we can have the value. So later, next step, we need to have DDB IoT topic for IoT topic variable. The value already here. So we don't need to issue any comment for this. For DDB table name for this variable, we need to copy this command and run it in the Cloud9. So this is our value for this. So let's have this value and save. So we already give some environment variable to our Lambda function. Now go back to the browser with theme park right times Lambda, choose configuration tab, and then environment variable menu option. Oh, okay. So sorry, this part we have completed. Yeah. So we have completed this. Now updating the front end. So now to update the front end, what we need to do, this command, run this command in the Cloud9. So we'll have the identity pool ID. This is the identity pool ID. So we make a copy, the whole thing. We can have the whole output and copy it here for our reference. So for IoT endpoint host name, we need to issue this command. So this is the endpoint host name. And for AWS region, we already know that we are in US East 1, but we can get this also from here. So this is the value. So we get these three values, and we need to update this in our front end so that front end can communicate with our backend. So now what we need to do, we need to go to the same file, that means config.js, which already we opened, and we need to change this identity pool ID, hostname, and region. So we already got this, right? This is the identity pool ID. So this is the endpoint. This is the endpoint. And finally, this is the region. Now we have modified our front-end code and saved. Now we need to push these changes to our code commit via this command. Fail to write icon ATM. What? Okay, it's already done. So now we need to actually I'm having some network issue. That's why something is not working sometimes. So for theme park front end, we are changing the directory now, and we'll push the code to the git commit repo. So for this, we need to issue this command. So this change is being done, and we can see Amplify. It should start building. Yeah, it already started provisioning. And we can see from code commit, we can see this file. If we refresh this file, we can see the value is updated. If we just refresh, go to the repositories, and go to the theme park, and go to the source, front end, source, and then app.js, config.js. So config.js, we can see our value already updated because we already pushed the code to our repository through Cloud9. Okay. So up until this point, we are now waiting for Amplify to finish the build process. Once once Amplify finishes the build, we will see the changes is being reflected in our front end client. So we can actually, our client can see those data, write wait time. So this, you don't see any write wait time here, but once this Amplify build is finishes, so we can see real-time write data. So we can see real-time write wait time. So somebody is saying Slack link is not working. Which link you have used actually? This I can give you this link. So this link, you need to create an account with your, after clicking on this link, Slack link, you need to create an account with your email ID. I think that works if you follow this link. Anybody responded in? So build already completed, we can see, and we can see refreshing our client. We should see the real-time ride data. This ride is 50 minutes. Can you see, right? You can see. Okay. So now the ride wait time already updated. So this module already completed. So we are going to start our last module for this session, because it's already 9:17. So we have around 45 minutes. I think I was planning to run this session for 2 hours. So I think we will be able to do that in time. All right. So on ride photo processing, this is the fun part. So you can see now, when you click on the ride, you don't see anything like add photos or something, right? So when we do this part, do this number 3, I mean this section, when we completed this, once we complete, we will get something called, when we go to any ride, and we will get a link to add our photo and remove the background automatically from that, I mean, from our application. So that's the fun part. I think you will enjoy this. So let's begin. So for this one also, we need to do something. We need to see how it works. Actually, this is a microservice architecture. So this Lambda uploads to S3, then S3, then another Lambda, chroma key processing Lambda. First, we will create generate signed URL Lambda. Then that Lambda will upload the link in S3. Anybody talking? Anybody talking?
Web application built with AWS serverless. For participant, it is not mandatory to have an account.
Mr. Didar, you would like to ask anything? Okay, thank you. So in this part, this Lambda will upload the file from our application to S3. Then another Lambda, which is chroma key processing, this Lambda will process the file, I mean, remove the background and put the processed file into another S3 bucket. And then another Lambda, image compositing Lambda, will add 2 images together. And finally, it will save into another S3 bucket. Then our front-end application will get notified through this Lambda. So this is very interesting microservice part, microservices design for this application. So for this, let us set up environment variable. So let's issue these commands. Now, deploying the infrastructure, we need to go through these 3 steps. So click to continue. And inside this section, what we are going to do, we are using the OpenCV Python library as a Lambda layer. So for that, what we need to do, we need to go to the Cloud9. We already are there. So in the terminal, we just make directory and we copy the Python OpenCV Python library. So let's do it. Tushar, are you there?
Yes, bhai.
Everything okay, right? I mean, the sound and video.
Yes, everything okay.
All right, thank you. So for this part, we created the directory, and we changed the directory to that directory, lambda layer directory, and we issued a wget command to download this package. So we can see here the package is downloaded. So we can see lambda layer, and we can see the downloaded OpenCV Python.zip. So now next part is upload the zipped code package to S3 deployment bucket. So let's copy this and let's run this in the terminal. So this is uploaded to this bucket, this S3 bucket, and under this S3 bucket, I mean, this library has been placed. So now create the lambda layer. So we are creating this using CLI. So we are issuing this command. We are using AWS Lambda API to create a lambda layer. So it will take maybe around 1 minute or less. Let's see.
Can you tell us a bit about the lambda layer you're mentioning?
Yeah, lambda layer. Actually, lambda layer something. I mean, if you want to put some code which is not always needed or always necessary, that means to actually to describe lambda layer, we need to understand some terminology. Like for lambda, there are some state, because lambda is an on-demand service. Whenever you invoke the function, your lambda is a container-based service. So your container, I mean, lambda service pull your lambda from your container, your defined container. So there is some warm time and I mean warm boot and cold boot options for lambda container. So let's say you want to do something frequently. So you need those code to, I mean, how can I actually explain? I understand the concept, but I cannot explain.
In simply, we can say we can put common code in lambda layer so that others function can use. So we can reduce total code size.
Right.
For example, I can say if you develop code in Python or like you are authenticating email. So if you want to authenticate email, you need.
Sorry for the interruption. My screen is visible, right?
Yes.
That's right. Thank you. So who asked the question about lambda layer? I mean,
I did. I got the answer.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So now let's see what is happening here. So lambda layer did not complete or completed? Yeah, probably completed. Yeah, completed. So we have completed to make our lambda layer using this code. So this code is a library code. It is always necessary, right? So that's why we are putting this. I mean, this is a very big code. So we are putting this inside layer so that our application can interact with it when necessary. It is not always necessary. It is necessary for the application when this part actually This code is necessary when OpenCV will be using for photo processing. So what I was telling, the code you need most is not always put in the layer, but if the code is I mean big in size and some kind of data like bank data, like your if you think about a bank application, so if some of the code you need for those application, that will be another abstraction after the Lambda. So for security purpose also Lambda is used, I mean layer is used. So you can search more on this also, and Tushar also explained nicely. Thank you, Tushar. So let us upload the chip package to okay. So we already did the layer. So now now it's time to create the chroma key lambda function. So for this, what we need to do, we need to go to the lambda again. So go to the lambda console. So go to the dashboard and create a function using this name. So just copying this name, and we will be using Python 3.7 for this lambda. So let's create a function with this name, and the runtime will be Python 3.7. And we should change the execution role also. So execution role should be theme-park lambda role. So theme-park lambda role. So now create functions. It's kind of boring, is it? The session?
Actually, I think for who is new, from them they it's going their overhead.
It's okay. You just I mean for whoever new to this session, you just watch the session until the end, and you see how an application and web application using these cutting edge technologies like serverless technology and everything, you can build a web application within a very short time. Like within 2 hours, we will be building some functionality to our web app, which we have already created. So it's really exciting if you just go through this, and if you go through this on your own time later to understand all those concepts. And there are numerous documentation on the internet, and AWS is one of the best well-documented I mean service provider. For every service they have very beautiful
You can deploy one application in multiple languages.
Yeah.
So it's don't care, because it's event driven application. It will be a event driven application.
Right.
So imagine in your group you have few developers, someone expert in Python, someone expert in JavaScript. So you need some portion of code which will give performance better in Node.js. So you can do it. But in traditional development, you can't do it. You have to face a lot of hassle.
Yes.
So if you spend at least spend some time on it, you will understand why it's becoming more popular. Or just see and spend some on it. I will request to everyone who is new to this session.
Yeah. Thank you. So for the next function, we have created the function. Then we need to add a trigger, S3 trigger, and we need to select this bucket. So bucket name is theme park backend upload bucket. So we need to give this bucket as the trigger and just acknowledge and add. So this is the trigger part. So after we add the trigger, what we can do, add a layer. So what we are doing in this function, last time we have added the layer using AWS Lambda API using our AWS CLI command line. Now we are doing the same thing for this function. We are doing the same thing using the console. So you can see the difference between those workflow. So back on the Lambda function page and go to the code tab and then select the layer. So this is the layer. So add a layer. Okay, so add a layer. What we do, custom layers. We do custom layers and we select Python OpenCV because we already added the layer. Another, you see this code reuse. So this function also use the Python OpenCV, but for this function we are not actually doing the same thing again, and we are actually pointing the same package from the same location, I mean from the same S3, and we are just adding it through the UI, I mean through the console. So that's the difference. Other than it is the same, the procedure is same. It is not code reuse actually. It's not about the code reuse. We are just using an asset. We are using asset reuse. Sorry for that. Yeah. So all right. Now we have added the layer. Now back to the code. We need to change the code. So now we are going back to the code, and what we need to do, we need to go to the Cloud9 and get the chroma key app.py contents, and sorry, this was in 3 photos. Backend photos, chroma key, and then app. So app.py, we just copy this code and we just update the Lambda code here. So we just delete the code, or we just simply replace the code. So from there we replace the code and deploy. Now the same thing we need to, I mean, for the same way we added the environment variable to our other function, we need to add some of the environment variable for this function too. So for this we will follow this step-by-step instruction. So for output bucket name, what we need to do, we need to copy this code. We can do this together or do this one by one. That depends on your workflow. I will just take this one first, and I will go to the code configuration again, and environment variables, and edit, and I will add an environment variable key, and then I will get the value from here. I will just issue this command here to get this value. So we got the value. Then the second part, output bucket name, is complete. The second variable is SSB lower. So for this, we just need to put this key and put this value as an array. So this is the key, upper, and this is the value. So they have defined the value here. So now we save. All right, so this part is completed, and the change settings for Lambda function. So what we can do from here, we can see how we can configure the function. We go to the code, we go to this runtime settings. Oh, sorry, not runtime, configuration, probably general configuration. Yeah. So this is the general configuration. Yeah, we have here general configuration, and we can update the memory and the timeout settings for this function. So what it does, so memory, we are defining that this function can use maximum of to MB memory. I mean, maximum of 128 megabyte of memory. But what we are going to do here, we are changing this value to 3008. That means 3 gig, more than 3 gig, or around 3 gig if you count it from binary perspective. So from timeout settings, this is the default one, 3 seconds. We are making it 10 seconds according to our instruction. So this is the thing, and the execution role, use an existing execution role. We already have selected. So that's the configuration settings we need to tweak. Then then what we can do, we save the function and we can test. So now to testing, what we can do, we can go to this theme park backend, 3 photos and green test PNG. So now our function is ready actually. So from this backend, 3 photos under backend photos, we can see green test. So if we open this photo in a tab, we can see this photo. It sometimes happens, it doesn't matter actually. This photo is not loading, it's okay. So this photo is actually, if we download this photo, we can see this code editor cannot open. So I download it and see what is this photo is about in my desktop. So this is downloading. Actually, my net is having problem, so that's why this is not also opening. Just wait some seconds. I think after then we'll able to see this. Yeah, we got that. So this is the photo. You can see. Can you see this screen? I mean, the photo. What I'm opening. Okay, let me stop the share. Can anybody confirm that am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. So let me show you what is this. So you can see this photo, right? This is a green background, and this is the instructor of other video AWS. His name is James Bejek. So you can see James Bejek's photo. So what we will do, we will cd to this directory. cd to this directory, then we will find the name of the S3 upload bucket using this command. So S3 upload bucket. Yeah, this is the name. And now copy the local testing image to your upload bucket, replacing your upload bucket command. So now what we'll do, we are just giving this file to, we are copying this file green screen test, which I have shown you. We are copying to our S3 bucket, which is triggered by the Lambda. Which the Lambda function has been set triggered with. So what we will do here, we just copy this line of code, and we'll take do some modification on the code, because our upload bucket name is this one. So now I will just modify this code to use our upload bucket name, and then give the command. So it will upload the file, this file, the file I showed you, to the upload bucket, and the Lambda will be automatically triggered. So what we can do here, from here, then we can go to the browser, S3 console, and we can see this backend processing bucket. So this we uploaded this file to upload bucket, right? So we'll go to the S3 console, S3. It's due to network issue. I'm having some issues actually. So we'll search for the backend processing bucket. So what we did, we uploaded the file to the upload bucket, and then Lambda triggered, and then according to our according to this, initial overview, if you see this, the workflow, you see this workflow, right? So this function is not yet created. We created this chroma key processing, and we have set a trigger for this upload bucket. So we have uploaded this a file with a green background to this bucket, and this Lambda processed the file, removing the background, and this file triggered this processing. Keep the file in the processing bucket, and another function, image composite function, process that from here, and then keep in the final bucket. So what we are going to see now, now we have uploaded, and now we can see the backend processing bucket. And when we see the backend processing bucket, we will see a file, green screen test.png, which we have uploaded. So what we have shown you, this file, right? I have shown you this file. Okay. Now I download this file to here, green test. Okay, no problem. So this is the file. So now what we see, the background, the green background has been eliminated from the file. So this has been done from the using the OpenCV Python library. So for this, we have already seen this one. So next step will be creating the photo compositing Lambda function. So we'll be using the next processing. So there we will combine two photos together. After removing the background, we will add another, I mean, the application will add another photo replacing the background. So from this, we go to the theme park backend, 3 photos, compositing and template. Compositing and template. So this template you see, this has some parameters, global and resources. So these are the SAM template. So how SAM works, actually this portion teaches us how actually SAM is, I mean SAM template is constructed. So now what we do, create the Lambda function using SAM. For this, change the directory. So then see the final bucket, I mean searching the final bucket. So this is our final bucket. And what we do, we just use these commands to create our I mean stack. So copy, and SAM will create the stack for us. This time we will not do it manually, we'll do through SAM.
Just quick question. Can a Lambda call another Lambda and pass a document or file? Is this possible?
Yes, it's possible.
So, so if we want to, so we can eliminate the middle S3 bucket.
Sorry. No, actually, what you what you are telling is, sorry. I'm having some sore throat issue. Let me clear up my throat. So your question was, one Lambda should pass the file to other Lambda, is it? Hello? Can you hear me?
I think you're breaking up.
Is it breaking now?
Yeah, it's all right now.
Now, all right. Okay. So actually, what was your question? One Lambda can call other Lambda and pass the file, is it?
Yeah, exactly.
Is it your question? Okay. So what is the scenario for this one? So you are giving a file to a Lambda and you don't want to keep that file. You want to process the file with other Lambda, is it? I mean, here what we are doing for this context, we are keeping a file in a S3 and we are triggering a Lambda whenever a file hit in the S3. I mean, whenever our client application sends a file to the S3 bucket, then it will trigger a Lambda function and that process the file, and output of that processing will be sent to another S3 bucket. This is our architecture. But what you are telling is you just want to have one Lambda to call our other Lambda. So what is the purpose of this? I mean, I think it is possible, but for this use case, I think it is not suitable. I think what you are doing is possible. I mean, thinking is possible, but you know, we have step functions. So what can be also used for Lambda functions to just use as some condition, like if this, then this function will work. if that, then something like some conditional statement in programming. So we can use those step function also. So that is possible, I think. We need to
Right, got it, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So for this this part, what we have done so far, we successfully created the stack. Okay, so stack is created. So now adding the trigger to the S3. So what we will do, we go to the Lambda and we will select this composite function Lambda. So we go to this Lambda console and Lambda Lambda dashboard function. We go to the function, we search for the theme park photo composite function, and we got this function. We will add a trigger. So to add a trigger, actually my network is very poor at this moment. I don't know what is happening there. So trigger, need to add the trigger, and we select the S3 for the trigger, and the bucket. For this bucket, we need to theme park process. We need to select theme park processing bucket for this. So this is our trigger, and we just acknowledge and add. So we added the trigger, and we can test the function now. So now copy this command and change the directory. Then we find the upload bucket name using this command. So we got the upload bucket name, and what we can do now, we just upload the green test again to this bucket. So for this, we need to actually modify this command. So I need to just, oh no, I don't need to modify this because this is already in the environment variable. So this command can be directly used. So I just use this. Yeah, so this green test .png has been uploaded to the upload bucket, and there should be a trigger, and there should be some processing from the Lambda we have done, created. So now in the S3, we need to see the backend final bucket to see what we have done so far. So this is the S3, and this is the final bucket, and this is the green test. So now if we download this file, we can see that there is another image already added in the background. Removing the background first, then it added another composite layer to it. So now what we can do, we can, okay, now creating the Lambda function for post processing. So for post processing, we need to create another function, and we need to name that function as theme park photos post process. So let's go and build a function with this name, and this time we use the Node.js default. So we use the Node.js, and we just use the existing role for this as a theme park backend Lambda role, as always we have done so far. So now create function using these parameters. Sorry. Okay, so that here our function already, we have created our function. So please, Tushar, please take a look on the thread and chat also. If somebody, I'm not actually able to see it. If you can, please, yeah. All right.
I think all of question have answered.
All right. Thank you. So for this, we also need to add a trigger. So we need to add a trigger with this S3. So this time we need to add S3 trigger also with this final bucket for post processing. So acknowledge, and you have seen this when you created that event type object created, right? When we create a trigger like S3, I go again, and you see this event type, right? Of all object created. That means anything put in the S3 bucket, I mean any object created should trigger the function. So that's the point. Now we have added the trigger already, and this time we need to go to the code view. So let's go to the code. This is the code editor, Lambda default code editor. And we need to take this 3 postprocess app.js from our postprocess app.js from the files, I mean from Cloud9. So now what we need to do is to replace this code with this one and deploy. So until this it is done, now we need to add 2 environment variables. So for first one, so let me go to the configuration and environment variables and edit and add variables, and this IoT data endpoint. For this endpoint, I need to issue this command to get the value. So this command give this endpoint. So this is the value we are going to use. And the next one for DDB table, that means DynamoDB table. For this environment variable, we add another variable, and we give it the output of this command. Give the output of this command. So this is the DynamoDB endpoint. So up until now we are ready and save. Sorry for so this is what we needed to done. Then we need to update the front end at this point. So we are actually 3 minutes over our time. I think we will be finishing very soon. So now what we can do, we just to update the front end, we show the uploads API from this command. So this is the command to see the upload API. This is the upload API. Actually, we have used that before also, upload API, most probably. Yeah, this one, right? Oh, no, that one is different. Okay. So what we need to do is we got the upload API. So we need to copy this API endpoint. Copy. And what we can do, a theme park front-end source config.js. So we have been using this config.js lately. So upload, photo upload, for photo upload, we just give this endpoint and then we save. And photo upload URL and push the code commit, push the code into the code commit. So first change the directory and pushing the commit. So once we push the commit, it should start provisioning. Once it detect, yeah, it started provisioning. So after we provision, we will see our Innovator Island app. When we will complete this process, we will see something like add a photo. So we can see in action. All right. So let's wait the build to be finished. And until then, anyone have any question, please, you can ask me. So anybody else except Sheikh Imtiaz Bhai? Anybody else is recording this session? Sheikh Imtiaz Bhai, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I think after your electricity went out, the co-hosts were changed. I mean, they don't have the permission to record anymore.
Oh, sorry. So what happened actually? Is there anybody who have the complete recording, or we lost the whole thing?
I'm still recording. I think probably I'll still have like 2 recordings.
Oh, okay, okay. Thank you, no problem. Maybe we can combine it later and post it in a somewhere. Yeah. Thank you very much. So we are about to finish our session. After this thing completes, I mean this process completes here, so we will be able to see in action what it looks like. I mean what our application is capable of, and what we have seen so far in these 2 hours. That we didn't write any code. We just use the ready-made code built from AWS, and we just use some instructions to build I mean very complex systems like this. So this is the power of cloud. We already have completed the Amplify. So I mean Amplify build. So what we can see now, we can go to the go to our front end, and we just refresh to I mean to have the changed effect within our client. So then when we click, we can see add right photo. Now I can show you this one. I have a photo with mine, I mean with a green background. So I just open this. So what application does, if I click add, then it sends the notification photo uploaded, and it will send another notification once the processing is done. Then we will see this button over here, I mean the photo button, photo processed, and we can see here your photo gallery. So it is loading, yet loading. So let us see what it did. Yeah, it did very well job, right? So I think everyone enjoyed the session. Is there any question from any of you, or any comment or any suggestions to improve, I mean, our next workshop?
So was there any specific reason for having like 4 or 5 lambdas instead of perhaps 3 lambdas, just with one bucket that has all the assets and the processing is done on a single lambda? Is there any performance benefits or any cost benefits, or is it just for demonstration purpose?
Yeah, it's just demonstration purpose, I think, because when you build real life application, you will consider many things like performance, security, and other well architected issues you will consider. But for this, we are not considering anything at all. But still, this is I think this is an ideal solution. I mean, for a starter, because if we see this, if we see this architecture, or if we see the overall architecture, so what it does actually, so front end, we are communicating with API, and we are uploading into one bucket, then processed by another I mean lambda. So this lambda is uploader, this uploads to a bucket, and this is the processing part. Then after processing finished, it is saving into another bucket. So these are called microservices architecture. If you there is definitely a benefit for this, because when you work with a single lambda, if that lambda fails for any reason, then your overall architecture fails. So this is the microservices architecture. If this is all you know, I mean, loosely coupled things, this is not tightly coupled. So if one fails somehow, if one processing bucket got deleted, or one processing lambda, or any one of the lambdas is not working for any reason, whole application will not affected. So it will affect the specific part of it. So there is a benefit using this architecture, and this is called serverless microservices architecture. So in my understanding, I'm sharing, but you are actually I mean, more senior than me in this field. So I think you can explain better than me. If you would like, you could take some time to explain what's the benefit or and other things. Just fine. Is that clear?
Microservices and serverless architecture. I dabbled in Amplify a bit, but I've done nothing serious here. So I'm just here to learn and understand what is going on. And this session has been very interesting.
I can clarify you. Okay.
Sure.
Sometimes we must need to keep multiple function. In this scenario, I have seen you have used SNS topic, which will trigger lambda function. Am I right?
Yeah.
So, okay. So if you create like in S3 bucket, you are uploading file, then S3 is triggering lambda through SNS topic.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you keep all of your code in on function, every time S3 trigger S3 new file uploaded to S3, and it will trigger lambda function through SNS topic,
right,
and it will occurring by it will create a loop, and your lambda will gone crazy. After sometimes your lambda will gone crazy. because every time you are putting file on S3, it will occurring and it will keep calling itself.
Yeah.
So sometimes while we are developing serverless architecture, we have keep mind in it. It's better to keep some things decoupling.
Yeah.
So
that's correct.
it will improve. It will improve performance also. So it's you can do it in one function, but if you keep if you split in multiple function, it will be more organizable.
Yes.
That's it.
I think so. Yeah. And I agree with you. So 10:14. So we are 15 minutes, around 14 minutes ahead of time. So if there any question, I'll take one last question. If anybody would like to ask anything. Anybody here? All right, thank you very much everyone for attending and for a collaborative learning.
But,
I'm also
thanks to you,
learning
bhai.
from you.
You are doing it from 2.5 an hours.
It's okay, no
It is
problem.
thanks to you.
Thank you. No,
It's a
I'm
difficult
also
job,
learning
bhai.
from you. I'm also learning from all of you.
No, bhai.
Learning is a collaborative thing. We should learn from each
Yes.
other. Yeah.
Yes.
So thank you very much, everyone, and hope to see
I
you
think,
again.
bhai, next session we should split. I think complete within 1 hours because I have seen people sir এটা কি বলে interest হারিয়ে ফেলছে আর কি এরকম because
Okay.
when we started the session we had almost 30 people, even
Okay.
some of people from our cloud camp Bangladesh also. I can't see also. I can.
It's okay. They might have some other urgencies,
It would be better if we
other things
keep,
to do. Okay. What I will say you offline, not here, because this session is being recorded, I think. So yeah, still
yes.
now is recorded. So we'll discuss about that later. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Everyone. Have a
Thank you, Bhayan.
good night. Yeah. Good night.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good night. Thank you very much.